If you bury a piece of glass and you dig it up in 100 years, it'll look the same. I remember Dale Chihuly saying this. That's not going to be true of me or any of us, but it's true of the glass, but it's still a very fragile material in which to work, which takes great skill. And they did it with great love, great love. My name is Francine Pilloff. My husband Benson and I have been collectors of American contemporary glass for, we're trying to think, it's either 40 or 50 years. We're not quite sure, but I can't believe it's gone so quickly. But we're only the temporary owners. And now we're going to give the privilege to you. I'd like to share with you some of the experiences and relationships that we established with the pieces themselves and with their creators, the artists. I don't think there are many artists in our collection that you're seeing at the auction that have not stayed at our house, or we've stayed at their home, or we've broken bread together, we've shared the good, the bad, the ugly. It's been an honor. It's been such an honor to be able to call all of these creative, wonderful, skilled artists family, and that I am very grateful for. When we first went into the Riley Gallery in Cleveland, Ohio, which was on one of those Sundays you don't know what to do, so you say, oh, we heard about a gallery. And it was a turning point for both of us. We fell in love with William Morris's petroglyph, which was our very first purchase. And Tom Riley put us in touch with William Morris, who is one of the very great glass artists at the Pilchuck School of Glass, which is a very prominent glass school. We were at Billy's studio, and he said, I have two friends, Joey Kirkpatrick and Flora Mace, and I really want you to meet them. So we went to their studio, which was in Seattle, and they became dear one and still are dear, wonderful friends. And we became buddies. It was wonderful. And we began our journey of collecting their work. I hope you'll see in the auction the progression of their work from the very small white figures to the ones that are on maybe 6-7 feet tall, representing the evolution of women and women's work. And in one of them, you'll see that the fruits, the white fruits, look like they're in transition, and that's when that was kind of broken off a woman's back and she could feel freer. I just love knowing all of this about all of the work, because it just gives it such a life and such a place in history. But I have to say that the artists for me are very connected to their pieces. The spirituality and the mindfulness and the intent are there within the piece, and when it speaks to you, if you listen, you say, that's something that I want to live with. That's what I want to have around me as I get older. And I can look at the bare walls that we have in our home now and really see the piece on the wall, so it's with me. During our time of collecting, the Cleveland Institute of Art, which is a very fine school of art, had an exhibition of Olga de Amaral's work. She is from Colombia. She works with fabric, fibers, and when we saw this, it was just wonderful because the materials she used on the fiber, gold and silver and I believe nickel, and it has changed through the years as it's gotten a patina on the metals. So that's been a very prized piece in our collection. We feel very lucky that we got to live with that piece. And whoever does get that, I hope you get the great joy and feel the appreciation for the work that it is. And she's an important artist. A lot of these artists we don't hear about, and then when we see it, we don't have a full breadth of what we're looking at, and that's important if you're a collector. One of the things that I wanted to add to our collection was a Chihuly chandelier. But as you know, if you've seen the chandeliers, they're very long and they can be very big. Well, we saw one that they had made, and we did have that installed in our home in Cleveland and also here in Chapel Hill. I was in California and found an artist who makes jewelry, and her name's Jessica Rose. And I found out that she lives in New York, and I got the name of the gallery. And when we were in New York, we went to the gallery. I remember it was pouring rain, and we went in the gallery that was kind of empty, except there was one person. She was leaning over an amount of jewelry she was arranging. She had a babushka on. I'm going to assume you know what that is. And I just had this strange feeling. And honestly, I went over and I said, "Are you Jessica Rose?" And it was Jessica. And we formed a very wonderful friendship and respect. The blankets, you'll see Jessica's blankets in the auction. I hope you'll take time to look at them. They're made with antique beads. They're wonderful. And the mama blanket, which probably is my favorite because it was so big, and she would take that to the streams and to the beautiful parts of the forest and put it in the water. They were just wonderful, wonderful additions to our lives. Yeah. I love everybody's work that you're seeing. Things are not in the auction that we didn't care about and didn't love. So they're coming filled with love. We know you're going to fill them with a lot more love. Richard Jolly is very special to us and very talented. Richard Marquis, I hope you will look at his work. He is very well known. And Howard Bentray, who unfortunately is not here anymore. We had a long relationship with Howard, and that has really been a joy. There's a dinosaur by Danny Matherson, who lived in North Carolina, and Danny used to go out on the highway and pick up hubcaps and anything he could to create outdoor pieces. We also collect photography and collect photography from some North Carolina artists, Alex Harris, Jonathan Rosenthal, and this has been a wonderful addition as well. Sandy Skoglund, I think, is one of the most creative photographers of today. She's also teaches at the universities. Her work is created from objects that all have meaning, and the progression of her work is so interesting, and I do have books that have her early work. I have to mention Joyce Scott, because Joyce Scott is truly one of our greats. I met Joyce when I was president of the Cleveland chapter of the Art Alliance, and there are 3 necklaces there, and I hope you'll take the time to read about them and about how she instills history and her spirit into them. I hope when you see our collection, you will see the possibilities, you will see the creativity and the wonder and the skill that it takes to control glass, this substance, because it has a mind of its own. So I just hope you enjoy it. I hope that you find something that sparks your spirit, sparks your aesthetic, and that you will live with the joy that we have had. And I do mean joy.